What's up, everybody? This is Mike, and you are listening to another episode of Hammered. Glad you could join us tonight. Hey, tonight is our Super Bowl special. In studio, I got Mr. James Moore II.
What it do?
And Brandon Cuthrell. What's up, fellas?
My man.
Much.
Chilling, bro.
Fresh new moderator for ESPN Sports Zone.
Can I veto that?
Every time I turn around, my man's talking about I'm going to boot somebody
Right.
for being. So for you people that don't know, I run a social group on Facebook, and I have a sports group. It's called ATB Sports Zone. Join now. I don't care where you live. You can live in the United States. You can live international. Join us. And Brandon, he is now a moderator in that group. James is an admin. Pump it up, James, big boss.
There you go. That's how I roll. That's how I get down.
He's one of the captains.
There you go. You the first mate.
Vice pres.
Or second, third mate.
And,
I can boot people whenever I want to.
yeah. So Brandon, he just goes off. His first day in there, he's writing all these posts about booting everybody that's not a Cowboy fan or blah, blah. And he's just getting all kinds of shit talked to him.
He's already 10 down right now.
10 I seen the numbers rising, actually.
There you go.
Numbers going up.
That's because they making
We had
fake
a supplement.
profiles.
We had a supplement.
Yeah. Booted and scooted.
Hey, so today, fellas, we got a special guest that's going to be joining us. Former NFL punter for the New York Giants. There you go, Brandon. The Giants, buddy, NFC East.
How about them Cowboys?
We got Mr. Matt Dodge. He's going to be joining us via Zoom here in a little bit. He's going to talk about what he's got going on. We're going to discuss a few things from his NFL career. And, hey, we're going to get his Super Bowl predictions.
Cool.
Hey, speaking of predictions, man, what y'all think? What do you think, James? Who you got?
I'm going to roll with Tampa Bay, man. I had them at the beginning of the year, but I wasn't feeling good because the defense was slipping. But they picked it up, obviously. So Brady gets number 7.
You shaking your head over there, Brandon.
That's a terrible prediction. The torch has been passed, clearly. Mahomes about to run this thing. The only team in the NFL that had a chance to beat the Chiefs were the Bills.
Okay.
And they just destroyed them.
We'll see.
And they go into warm weather, too. Mahomes about to be on the beach the day before the Super Bowl, the bathing suit out there chilling.
Super Bowl's in Tampa Bay. Tom Brady plays for.
Doesn't matter.
I'm just saying.
Super Bowl,
This is
man.
the ultimate home field advantage.
Ultimate
home field advantage with TB12, Tampa Bay.
I'm going to tell you, if they score a touchdown or field goal and the cannons go off, it's rigged, 100%. It should be a neutral. It should be neutral.
It should be neutral. It's always neutral every year. They just happen to get there.
I'm just saying, the cannons go off. It's cheating.
This fool.
The scandal's on.
This guy.
The scandal is on.
Why we make you a mod again?
I don't know. I'm second guessing this.
Right.
I'm a sports genius.
So you this is basically like the Astros cheating scandal is what you're saying.
No.
Yeah, you saying if they play the cannons, they're cheating? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yes.
That means the refs are biased immediately.
They always shoot the cans every time they score. Right?
Yeah, when the Buccaneers score at home games.
That is in their home stadium.
I don't care
This
if it's
isn't
Super
technically
Bowl.
a home game. Yes, it's at their home stadium, but it's not considered a home game.
Should
it just
be.
So happened the first time ever.
It's the first time in 55 years.
Yeah. This miraculously happened.
Hey,
I feel like that's biased. I feel like giving them an advantage.
Blame Green Bay, bro.
Yeah, Tampa Bay won every game they were supposed to win, man. They're there. You can't take it away from them. Tampa Bay, all the way. NFC South.
Yep.
Right now, Panthers can't do it. Let's go, Tampa Bay.
They were
I got
5
Brady.
seed, bro.
Mahomes about to pick y'all apart.
Hey, you think this is coming down to a field goal?
No.
I don't say a field goal. I'm going to say at least
You know what I hope happens is what happened during the Eagles-Patriots game. Tom Brady come on the field with about a minute and a half left, and everybody like, oh, here he come. Here come the GOAT. He about to win the game. And then
I thought you meant the first time he played the Eagles when they won back in 04.
No. like about 04. We're talking about a Super Bowl.
They did beat the Eagles in 04 in the Super Bowl.
In 04?
I think it was 04. You know when Terrell Owens was playing, he came off that broken leg.
Oh, McNabb and shit.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Damn, how long ago was that?
I'm talking about the most recent.
03, 04, pimp.
I'm talking about most recent when the Eagles won.
Last time Dallas was, okay. Yeah.
Remember when Brady fumbled, you know?
Oh, you know what? I saw some precious stuff on NFL Network yesterday. They were actually showing the Dallas Cowboys and their 3 Super Bowl wins in a row.
It was on VHS.
Feel great? No.
Man, it was so precious seeing Aikman out there and Emmitt Smith, and man, it was so long ago.
Michael Irvin.
I don't even know if I had hair on my face back then.
Me neither.
I was in grade school.
Yeah, I didn't even have hair on my balls at that point.
No, me neither. I hope not.
Wait, all seriously, you weren't an adult. You do not know the Cowboys as a championship team as an adult.
No, but I started following them when they're in the mid '90s, like '95, is when I was starting to become a real diehard fan and actually understood it.
I was sitting here looking back at researching Matt today, and the Giants 2010, and they were, it wasn't 2010 when they won the Super Bowl.
Was it 07 they won that first one.
07?
Mm-hmm. I remember where I was at.
Eli got a championship.
2011 or something.
Brady still ain't got over there, bro. Eli got him twice.
Yeah.
Damn, this should be number 8 for Brady.
Yeah.
For Eli.
Yeah. He should be working on number 9. Yeah, he should have 8. Think about that, bro.
Wait, how many times?
His stats are already ridiculous.
How many times has Eli stopped Brady? Twice, right?
Twice, man.
So he should be playing for his 10th Super Bowl tonight.
I thought it was 9.
If it was, hold on, wait. Yeah, he's got 6.
Yeah.
So this would be 9. You're right. Let me make sure I edit that out.
Good though,
no, don't cut that one. Keep that one in there.
Ooh.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this show, man. I look forward to talking to Matt, seeing what he's all about, man.
Absolutely.
I just want y'all to know, who do y'all plan on putting on Tyreek Hill?
They can't do. They covered him 1-on-1 last time. That's why they got burnt. So they're gonna have to have help or play zone, bro. They have to. You cannot cover that man 1-on-1, or they will lose the game.
But then they put 2 or 3 people on. You still got Kelsey out here balling. You got Sammy.
Yeah, but I feel like he can hurt you. Sammy Walker, he benefited from Tyreek. Yeah.
Well, you got to do it somehow.
Yeah, but they're gonna have to stop him. He's got to be priority though.
You think they're actually COVID testing this week?
I heard they do it in the mornings and in the evenings, bro.
Well, there ain't a chance of nobody coming up hot with COVID right now.
I'm waiting on the big Super Bowl COVID scandal. There's going to be a player that's played the whole game and then gets called out. That's another thing. If somebody's balling and they get called out the game due to COVID, like the fourth quarter, scam.
I just don't want them to go to a strip club like my man Lou Williams did for the Clippers and get called out and then get sent home. You know what I'm saying? So, Tampa Bay's got a lot of distractions, bro, down there. There's a whole lot of distractions.
Oh, I will bet you that they are locked in their rooms. They got guards on the doors. They're not letting them out just for practice. That's it.
They thought Tiger was locked in his room, too.
You stupid.
I have not seen that documentary.
Man, don't ruin it for him, man. Don't ruin it for him, man.
That was public facts.
You so stupid.
Tiger was sneaking out of his room. That what you saying? God, I gotta watch this documentary.
It's public fact. He won't sneaking out of his room.
Well, I know he was going
he
to
had no sneaking in. He's the one who wasn't doing the sneaking.
Well, we know he was going out to Perkins to eat and stuff. I don't know if there was other stuff going on. I mean, I know there was, but I gotta watch this documentary.
Yeah, man, you gotta check out HBO. It's good.
Yeah. It's only 2.
First half covers when he was dominating the Masters, and from the get go, I mean, just killing it.
Yeah.
Left and right. And then the second half gets into, all the other bullshit.
Oh, the Thanksgiving Day of Infamy.
Yeah. That's where he gets into all that
The
stuff.
fall from grace.
Golf club to the car.
He did win that Masters, though, a few years ago.
Oh.
So he got like 15. He probably won't win another one though.
I know he need one more.
He
Man,
need
I don't
4
know,
more.
man.
I thought he needed one to beat Jack.
He need 4 to beat Jack Pimp.
But it's one more though to tie, right? Or am I wrong on this?
I was pretty sure it was 4. He's got 15 majors.
I think he needed one more to beat him. With
I might be wrong.
I need to look it up.
Yeah.
Because if it was 4, they wouldn't even be talking about it.
If he need one more, he need to keep playing then.
Well, bro, golf is like one of them sports where the older you get, you can still play.
Yep, true. And he had surgery. He had his spine fused, something like that.
Yeah.
You know, he was having a lot of back problems for a while.
He had
Oh,
knee
look at-
surgeries.
But he's trying to do that Navy SEAL workouts and stuff. That's what fucked him
Yeah.
up. He was going.
Nicholas has got 18 majors.
Do he? Oh shit! How the hell I missed
Tiger's
that?
got 15.
Oh, okay, so it is.
I was
four.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so
you
he
ain't
needs
catching
3
up.
more to tie and 4 to win.
Nah,
Yeah.
you ain't catching up.
That's why you are the sports admin, bro.
You know,
got that
bro.
knowledge.
Got to.
You're all over it.
I ain't catching that.
All right, so here's what we're going to do.
What's
we're
up?
about to get on with Matt here in a sec. Sorry. Hey, everybody, this is Mike again, and today we are joined by former NFL punter and North Carolina native, right, Matt?
That's right.
All right, we got Mr. Matt Dodge via Zoom. I'm going to call that the Naughty Donkey Hotline, folks. You like that one? Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Girls on the other end of that thing.
Right.
Also in studio, we got my man James Moore returning to the Naughty Donkey Studios and
Not bad.
Brandon Cuthrell. All right, Matt, how's it going today, brother?
Well, it's going really well, man. I appreciate y'all inviting me on.
Yeah, man, we're excited to have you, actually, man. You're out in old Morehead City,
That's
North
it.
Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
How's that weather out there? Cold enough for you?
Oh, man. It's pretty bad. It's good if you're a fish. Or a duck, one of those two, but it's bad for humans.
Yeah, you guys get any snow out there the past week?
No, we got a couple flakes the other day, and my son, who's 2.5, was like, "Snowman, snowman." I'm like, dude, there ain't enough for that. Just enough to be annoying.
I've seen a couple of those little bitty, like 2-foot snowmen outside. You know, people get crazy when it snows.
Mm.
And like just a little bit, man.
You
It's
only
good.
get a day. I mean, you get one day to do what you got to do, and then the sun next day, gone.
Man, that's
That's
fast.
Here
what
you
I'm
got
talking
James
about.
over here, the
Well-
Grinch of snow.
Man, I don't like snow, bro. Black people don't like the cold, man. That's how we do.
Hey, Jamaican bobsled team, bro.
Oh,
Great. Yeah.
Hey,
all right. I'll give
All
you
right.
that one.
cool, brother.
So Matt, I did a little research on you today, man. So you went to App State for a year.
I started at App, yeah.
Yeah, Appalachian State.
Got a ring.
And it got
And I was
speaking of
there
cold,
for a year because of the snow.
and that was
it was
it. Huh? You were
brutal.
like, this cold weather, I'm out.
Man, it was a different world, honestly, man. I'm from Carteret County, which is, one of the most conservative counties in the country, to go over there, and it was complete opposite end. So it was definitely a culture shock, and it was funny. So I was called. There was another kicker whose name was Matt. He was from Franklin, North Carolina, which I guess is near the mountains. He was Mountain Matt. I was Beach Matt, and the team was kind of betting whether or not I would make it through the winter, and overwhelmingly they said Matt's gonna be transferring out. And sure enough, I was starting punter on a national championship team, and I left.
Awesome. Who won the bet? Do you know?
They haven't talked to me since. So
Oh, no.
I'm guessing I didn't win.
Must have won.
Right.
Oh, well, I mean, I think you got the last laugh at the end of the day.
Yeah. No,
You did make it to the pros.
Yeah, man. But I started at App. I was originally going to go to East Carolina, and I was a preferred walk-on, which is like, hey, we like you, not enough to give you a scholarship, but we want you to come here. So that was where I was going to go originally, but I had a great official visit to App. I mean, it was like, it snowed, but it was like the beautiful Christmas movie snow. It wasn't the 40-mile-an-hour wind snow that's there all the time.
Mhm.
So I really enjoyed it, but ended up transferring back to East Carolina. Had to sit out a year. So I was a normal student for a year, and I learned that I severely needed the structure of a football team. I wouldn't have made it if because I didn't have anything to do with the team that year that I sat out.
James, did you wear your East Carolina shirt just because Matt's on the show?
Hell yeah, I had to represent. Hey,
That's it, man.
fat bro. So you were there the same time I was there in undergrad. I actually remember you. My fraternity brother said he ran to you downtown, say you was cool as hell.
Not me, man. Not me. I was
Yeah,
still,
man. I was like super excited when you got on the show. I want to ask you, what's your most memorable game at ECU or memorable game time?
Let's see, at East Carolina. So being a punter, I could have a great game and we could lose, right? So it was weird. Now I could have bad games and we just dominate. So my personal favorite game of my performance was at West Virginia. That was my first year, my redshirt sophomore year. We got destroyed, but I had a great game. So it was a weird dynamic. But my favorite team game, I know. I feel, I know. They were like John Denver was playing as we were walking off the field, and that was like my best game. I'm like, man, why are y'all so mad? But we got destroyed. But we, if you guys remember I think it was my junior year, we started the season off, beat Virginia Tech in Charlotte.
Yep.
That was a fun game. But the following game, we played West Virginia at home.
Mm-hmm.
They're a top 10 team. I think we won 24-3. I mean, it was a
24.
It was a beating.
Right.
That game was a blast. That night was a blast. That was, I'm telling you, man, playing college ball, because playing in the pros is cool, but you got a lot of grown men, like family day, and they have like 8-year-old kids. College, everyone's the same age. We're all got the same mindset that's named after this podcast. And
hammered.
Yes. So that night, man, we went to Levels afterwards, and they would like stop the music, and like, Matt Dodge is now entering the bar. I'm like, this. No one knew I was a punter, which was awesome. So that was probably my most memorable. That whole night, man, that was a blast. That was 2 weeks. That was just a haze. Yeah,
bro. I was gonna save this question for later when we get into your NFL career, but now I gotta know, because you're making it sound like being a punter is way too cool. Like, how was it being a punter in the NFL, man? I mean, were you like, because being a kicker's got to be rough. 1 minute you're loved, and the next minute, kicker in general. I mean,
punters were the real athletes on the special team. Now it's funny. I'll meet people and they're like, "Man, you played in the NFL?" I'm like, "Yeah," and they're like, "What position?" I'm like, "Punter," and they're like, "Oh." It's like being the tallest midget in the circus, man. It's not a lot to brag about, but I always equate it. It's kind of like a skill within a sport, every other sport or every other position, like if you're a DN, obviously there's a lot of technique, but you can just bull rush the other guy or speed around him. Punting, it's kind of like playing golf, man. It doesn't really reward a lot of effort. It's all about a skill. So it is, it seems like it's not a big deal, but I mean, you only got maybe 4 or 5 snaps a game. So you're kicking, you're punting and sitting there for sometimes 15, 20 minutes and then go out and do it again. So it's, but I liked it. Hey, I feel great.
How many tackles have you got?
Oh man, I can't even keep count, man. Man, not as so punters, we learned to use the sideline as our friend. So forcing people out. But I remember we were playing at Dallas, which I'll tell you that story. Man, that's a great place to play.
Killed this guy running the ball.
No, didn't happen.
I hit, that was probably my I hit a bomb. It was like a 68-yard punt from the line of scrimmage bomb. And they had a guy, was it Des Bryant? I think his name was. Pretty special athlete. He caught it.
Yeah.
Well, he's like, I'm a pretty big guy, like 6'2", 230. Well, he's about that size and runs, a lot faster than I do, obviously. And I'm chasing. He took it to the house, but I remember I was chasing after him, and my strength coach was like, "Matt, stop!" I'm like, "What, dude?" He's like, "Dude, you're gonna pull both of your hamstrings. You have no chance of catching that guy." Literally, that's what my strength coach said. So, I was not a really prolific tackler, and everybody knew it.
Bro, because I mean, punters.
I was a liability when I tried to tackle. That's the reality.
Well, the fact is, NFL teams only carry like one punter, right? So if you go down, who's kicking the ball? Your field goal kicker now? Or
yeah, that's about it. Yeah, there's not. They don't carry there's no red shirt punters in the NFL. That's for sure.
Speaking of kicker tackling, I remember one of the Panthers game I went to, and I sat behind the end zone, and it was like the funniest tackle I've ever seen. But it was John Casey when he was kicker.
Great guy. I know John. Yeah.
Yeah. And dude was breaking down the sideline, and he was going for a touchdown. There was no doubt, like from my angle. And all of a sudden, I just see this dude just fucking come in with a slide tackle.
Oh man,
Just like slide tackled him on the sidelines, and I was like, "The hell was that?" And then he gets up, and I'm like, "Oh, that was a damn kicker!" I was like, "Damn, he just slide tackled a damn tackle." I was like, wow.
We would watch that every week. There was like a low light reel of kickers trying to make tackles. And,
oh yeah.
I mean, even if you're a great athlete, that's always the advantage to the return man. But you know, I ran a forever is what I tell people in my 40.
Forever.
And, right. If they had more than a couple yards on each side, it wasn't looking good.
So did you go to the combine?
I did. Yep. Yeah,
I
stats,
checked man.
in.
What was your bench press?
So I didn't bench at the combine. I did it at my pro day. I got 24, just about locked out 24 on 225.
That's solid,
pretty
man.
good.
That's
Yeah.
solid.
Daggone right, dude. And so I did that. I was fired up, man. And I didn't realize we were going to punt 10 minutes later. And if you've ever like maxed out 225, you have the greatest pump in the history of the world. So I like really struggled like putting my hands together because my chest but I got 23 and a half reps.
That's
Did
solid.
not help my punting, but I was looking good, man.
Oh.
Did not run a 40. I ran 140 my junior pro day and like popped my left hamstring and I have never been I mean, it looked like I got hit by a sniper, man. It was horrible.
Oof. Well, okay. So we kind of jumped up into your NFL career, but I want to rewind it. Let's rewind it back. So you're done with ECU and it's draft day, right?
Yep.
First round goes, second round goes, third round goes. We're going into the later rounds. And I heard you on another podcast I was listening to today. Like your mother didn't like TVs. So you guys weren't allowed to watch the draft on TV.
She called it smut TV. And we're always like, Mom, we're not watching any slut TV. And she's like, I said smut TV. So yeah, no,
we were sitting around getting drafted here.
Yeah, we didn't. We had like WGN and 7, 8, 9, and 12, but nothing where you could see where the draft was.
Well, that's a pretty cool story, man. Tell the story of your draft day.
Yeah. Needless to say, being a punter, the odds of you getting drafted aren't great anyways. So I wasn't invited to New York. I mean, that would have been embarrassing. That'd been like a 4-day just sitting there waiting. But yeah, so I spoke to, you kind of have an idea where you're going to go. I mean, if you're a good safety or a good wide receiver, I mean, arguably every team needs those guys, you know, so it's kind of a toss up. With punters, there's probably less than 10 jobs that are even going to be competed for, you know, let alone somebody get drafted. So I had it narrowed down originally to the Patriots. Worked out with them in Greenville. It came to the pro day. I thought, man, that'd be great. You punt literally once a game tops, you know, it's like the best gig ever. So 5th round came around and they had a pick. We kind of thought, hey, that might be, you know, the time I get picked. If they're going to pick me, that'll be the time. Well, they end up taking the guy, Zoltan Mesko, a punter from Michigan, who I actually played against in the Senior Bowl, which played with Tim Tebow. I'll tell you a funny story about that too. But
okay.
So anyway, 6th round comes around, and the next team was Tampa Bay, who was that was another team I had talked to. I know they were looking for a punter, and they ended up taking the Brent Bowden from Virginia Tech. And when that happened, I was like, all right, this isn't meant to be. I mean, playing in the NFL, I always tell people there's that commercial on TV where you see like the Manning brothers when they're 5 in their backyard and they knew they were destined for the NFL. I had no idea. I probably didn't really start thinking about it until prior to my senior year. So it was one of those kind of like playing with house money. If I made it, it would have been awesome. I just wanted to get a scholarship. So 7th round comes around, and now needless to say, we didn't have cable. So my dad is sitting on our desktop computer, just hitting refresh on like Yahoo Sports. And you're doing a miserable existence. And he's like, no, didn't get, you do that for 2.5 rounds. You get kind of tired of it. And my buddy was actually getting married in Salter Path, North Carolina. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with that, near Emerald Isle.
Okay, yeah.
Anyways, it was getting close to crunch time, and it was kind of a convenient excuse for me to leave. I just didn't want to. I was tired of looking over my dad's shoulder, and I drove over there. And I had at this time, I think I had like a red Razor phone, which it's funny, like it was tiny. I guess that was the goal before. Now phones are getting way bigger, but I'm driving and I see a New Jersey phone call come in.
Mm-hmm.
And like anybody should do when they're hopeful to get drafted, I did what you should do, which I ignored it. Right? It's like I don't know anyone from New Jersey.
Nowadays, Matt, you don't know because it's usually somebody trying to sell you car insurance, or are you the car owner, or it's all kinds of spam.
Yeah, from Chicago. I'm like, dude, you're not from Chicago. No. So I ignored it and called right back, and I was like, shit, this is probably some chick I pissed off in Greenville that's calling. I don't know what this is going. You don't like those back. It's like when your mom back to back calls you. It's never for a good reason. But I answered and I was like, hello, and they're like, hey, is this Matt Dodge? It was a woman, and I was like, yes, it is. And she goes, okay, hold please, and get you in contact with Coach Coughlin. I'm thinking, Coach Coughlin. Oh my, Coach Coughlin, New York Giants, Coach Coughlin. And he came on and said, hey, Matt, hey, we're going to go ahead and take you with this next pick. We look forward to seeing you at rookie minicamp. Talk to, we'll call her Jane. I can't remember her name, but talk to her. She'll give you the details. And that's how quick it happened. And I don't even know if I talked to New York before the draft. I had no clue, but man, I whipped like the most illegal U-turn, probably on the coming on the downside of the bridge in Atlantic Beach. And man, that's how quickly it happened. But I wasn't sitting around, there wasn't a camera crew filming me and my family. Like, yeah, I knew you were going to make it. It was like, I ignored the phone call, got it back again. And my life changed.
7th round too, right?
Yes, sir.
Hey, look at that 7th round, man. Nothing wrong with the 7th round. Ask Tom Brady.
Similar career trajectories too, Tom and I.
Had you always been a punter, Matt, or did you start out playing something else and then just decided, hey, I can kick the ball?
Man, well, I grew up like so most punters and kickers. I was a soccer player. I played every sport growing up. My favorite sport was actually roller hockey. Believe it or not, there's zero future in roller hockey, but I loved it. So I played that year round. But played soccer and converted over to kicking and punting. I thought I was going to be a kicker in college, but everywhere I went needed a punter. So just happened to be. I played a little bit of like wide receiver and stuff, but again, not the most fleet of foot. Liability.
Well, you could have been like a tight end. You ain't got to be that. You can just, roll somebody over. Hell yeah,
man. I wanted to. I remember my high school coach told me my freshman year, and I was kind of a late bloomer. I was tiny, but he said, hey man, you've got a chance with your leg, because I always had a really strong leg. You could go to college for this. He told me that my freshman year. So kind of really focused in on punting and kicking. And if you get out of the groove of hitting for a while, it's hard to get back into that. I played varsity my sophomore year. I was just always a lot smaller than everyone. So that's my excuse why I didn't play anything else.
Well, what's a day of practice in the NFL like for a punter, man?
Brutal, man.
Get up and like, what do you do? Like, are you separated from the rest of the team? You got your own little spot?
Like we have leprosy, we have to yell unclean.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's what I thought. The way they treat kickers.
So generally, you've got a team meeting first thing in the morning, which we had to be at. We were on what's called Coughlin time. I'm not sure if you ever heard of that, but basically, if you're on time, you're 5 minutes late.
Right.
For whatever reason, the clocks were they set forward 5 minutes or something. So if you were a minute late to that, it was something like a $1,500 fine. And that team meeting was like 7.5 minutes long. I mean, he was military, very structured.
Yes.
And then we had the special teams meeting directly after the team meeting. So I had to be there for those. Then after that, we'd break into position meetings. But I mean, I was a punter, I had to memorize 3 plays, like kick it left, in the middle, or to the right. So we didn't have a playbook, but we would watch film, but it was a lot of downtime, just trying to stay out of the way. I always felt bad for the guys, but you have to be at the facility. So you got to, spend your time doing something. I did a lot of arm curls and drank all the free muscle milk that they gave me. So a lot of downtime. There's,
was that the drink of choice around there? Muscle milk?
Man, God, the league was so awesome. Everything was, just everything was on tap. Like in college, it was a hassle just to get a new, like, hey, can I get some new sliders, or can I get some new socks? They would just make a big deal. In the pros, man, I had a new pair of cleats every single game. These are $200 Under Armour cleats I wore every single game. I've got like 15 pairs of them right now. I don't know what I'm like handing them to kids on the soccer field. But everything you needed, they had it there, man. It's like you're making the most money of your life. You don't have to pay for anything, but that all dries up pretty quickly.
What do I got to do, man, to get a Dodge jersey that can hang up in the studio here?
Yeah, man, signed and framed.
Man, if I sign it, it actually lose value if I sign it.
It's true.
You better find a seamstress, man. That's the only way you're gonna get a Dodge jersey. But
right.
no, I don't know if they're carrying. They weren't hot sellers, believe it or not.
Oh, we can find one on eBay.
Yeah, that's
got to
right.
be one on eBay somewhere. We'll make one.
There you go. We can make one.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. So Matt, let's for the people out there that don't know, Giants played the Eagles in 2010, and there was a play with hardly no time on the clock, right? And you were punting it to Deshaun Jackson.
Yep.
All right. What's the nickname for that play? Miracle at the Meadowlands or something like that.
Mine was oh shit. That was my nickname.
I mean,
this is my nightmare. That was another common one.
Take me through that play, man. From the moment the offense got off the field on 4th down to the time you went out there to punt it. What did they tell you before you went out there to kick the ball? What did the special teams coach, or was Coughlin the one that talked to you?
Well, so I said in the other podcast, so I'll set the story. The first half we dominated. We were up by like 2 or 3 scores. I mean, and this was Mike Vick's Eagles. They were, legit. That guy was as impressive as, it's like people when they go to a PGA tournament, they'll say, man, watching people on the range, watching them warm up, it's the most impressive thing. Watching that guy warm up, just how tight that spiral was and his just slung it. So anyways, they were not a bad team in the slightest. So we were up by a couple scores at halftime in complete control. But you're right. They had a guy named Deshaun Jackson, who I think is still playing for him today. Mm-hmm. But he's one of those guys that keeps you up at night as a punter, as a special teams coordinator. He's just one of those guys. Anytime they catch it, everyone on the sideline is just holding their breath. So our strategy was pretty simple. Don't let him catch it, and did a great job. Well, anyways, fast forward to the second half, the script completely flips. We can't stop them. We can't score. And they end up tying the game up. This is bad. I don't know all the particulars because I still have yet to watch that play since it's gone down. Thank you for bringing it up, by the way. You're
welcome, man. I'm here for you.
Yeah. My dog died not too long ago. Want to talk about that too? No, I'm just kidding. No, what is that? Some Adam Sandler movie. But anyways, so we get the ball back with like a minute or something left, like just over a minute. Which I'm thinking, hey, great, man, we'll drive. We just got to kick a field goal. We win, we prevent the biggest collapse ever. So I can't remember really what happened, but I know we threw the ball maybe 1 or 2 times, which kills the clock, right? When we got the ball, I thought there's no chance I'm gonna have to punt, but so 3rd down comes up and now you get this sinking feeling in your stomach. Oh no, I'm gonna have to punt. 4th down, they stop us again. So there's something like 10, 11, 12 seconds, something like that. And whose turn is it to come up, right? This guy from Morehead City, North Carolina, putting the whole Big Apple on my back. And the strategy was simple, right? Kick it out of bounds. And in case I forgot, the guy selling hot dogs was telling me to kick it out of bounds. Like every player stopped me. I think Tom Coughlin wrote it on my hand and said, right before you punt, look, and it says kicks out of, and that was my strategy, right?
Yeah.
Well, needless to say, I did not kick it out of bounds. It was I kind of mishit a little bit. They had, if you know anything, and I'm not trying to make excuses, but essentially in a situation like that, they're going to stack the line and make it look like they're coming after it. And they do that to just try and get a rookie punter to speed up his process and not hit a great punt. And let me tell you, it worked like a charm. And so I caught it, hit a pretty lackluster punt. He actually bobbled it a little bit. So it ended up, we were still in position, but again, he's a guy you do not want to catch the ball. And it was a virtual parting of the Red Sea between me and Deshaun Jackson. And you don't have to be the smartest guy to know who won that battle. And so he just, it was just a perfect storm. he ran it through. I mean, there was like crackback after crackback blocks. I mean, it was just like I said, oh shit. And I repeated that a couple times.
Yeah.
So he ran by me, and this guy, brilliant guy, fast, but he had the presence of mind to look up at the scoreboard and notice there was, 2 or 3 or 4 seconds left. And he ran parallel to the end zone. Clock hit 0, stepped in, walk off punt return. And, I'm gonna tell you what, man, that was looking back now, it's like the biggest blessing, because if I was just a punter that played, nothing significant happened, nobody remember me. But at the time, I'm kind of reminded of that country song, if you're going through hell, keep on going, because it was a living hell after that for sure.
Oh, I'm certain the New York fans weren't nice for a while, and I'm sure it probably got rough after that.
Yeah, I mean, it was up to that point. I had an up and down season. I mean, I was replacing Jeff Fiegels. Remember that? Jeff played for 22 years. Talk like the model of consistency. And Coach Coughlin had gotten used to him kicking out of bounds 40, 42 yards. He loved that. And then they drafted me, which didn't make a lot of sense. It was kind of like taking John Rocker, if you remember that pitcher, and telling him, hey, we want you to pitch like Tom Glavine. We want you to just hit the outside, pick your spots. Mm-hmm. So I was a big ball hitter, and I had to try and learn, how do I kick it out of bounds 40 yards? It was really, really tough. So I had a kind of an up and down season, but, I ended up with the highest average in Giants history at that point, but it was kind of definitely overshadowed by that. Ended up having to compete with Steve Weatherford, who is a pretty well-known punter. He was with the Jets. And that next preseason, I was the number 2 punter in the preseason, had a great preseason. Problem was Steve, who I was competing with, was number 1 in the preseason. So I ended up getting cut. And, I've done talks all over the place. I've spoke at churches. I've given my testimony, talked like this is, and thinking, I'm like, all right, any questions? And there's always like, man, how fast is Deshaun Jackson? Like, it's the only question I get asked.
He's fast, bro. I watched that.
I'm like, bro, you saw it. Yeah, it was quick, man. So, but it was tough.
He bobbled it,
and
then took off like a jet. It was his acceleration speed was incredible. So I mean,
real deal.
Yeah.
So I got one question. Once you realized he was about to score, and that was probably going to be the game, how long do you think it took you to go back to the sidelines?
I know. So I ran right back, man. I ran right back to Coughlin.
Man.
I would have took a day and a year.
Right. I mean, if you're going to get your ass chewed, just go ahead and get it over with. So I ran right to him. And I couldn't avoid it. And I think he stood right between me and where I normally run to anyways. So that wasn't super honorable. But yeah, there's a picture online of him kind of yelling at me, and I'm just like, what the hell just
taking it.
Yeah.
And people, I had a bunch of text messages from all my buddies, like, man, you want us to drive up there and whoop his ass? Like, he can't yell at you on TV. And I'm like,
you got this Carolina style.
And he really did. I mean, Coach Coughlin, a tough military kind of from that Bill Parcells school, which I got it. My dad was Coast Guard. I grew up, not Coast Guards. I know, not the Marine Corps, but I was around disciplinarians my whole life. Mm-hmm. So he was he had my back forever. But if you're just looking at him on TV, he looks like the most miserable human being on the planet. But he definitely had my back. But yeah, it taught me, look, if you're going to screw up, do not be the last person to screw up. So I just happened to be the last person to screw up. And it was tough, man.
So did that change your life? Did that send you on a different direction? That experience right there?
It did. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think I knew the NFL was big. I had no idea how big it was. The punter is like the long snapper. If they have a good game, nobody notices, and that's a good thing. But when I've got TMZ calling my family, I got people posting what I drive, where I live. It just, you feel like you lost any privacy. It just, I want to say there were death threats, but it's like your normal 14-year-old keyboard warriors. I was at that night, I prayed somebody showed up to my house, because I was both shocked, but I was so angry too. Just like, God, why did this happen? But it definitely changed my life. It was something that, it stinks, but that's what everybody remembers,
But it opened up some good doors for you too. I'm assuming. Like
no, it's definitely a blessing in disguise now, man.
Yeah.
Time heals all wounds, and the fact that it's gotten me, what do they say? All publicity is good publicity, So it's definitely helped, and it showed me like, man, if I can make it through that, like I don't see anything in my professional life now that can top that. Imagine you had your worst day ever at work, and 80,000 people saw it in person, and millions of people saw it live, and on YouTube it's played millions of times. Like, this is your worst day at work. So, but it's a lot of people watching you. But I think enough time's passed now where it's not as big a deal. But at the time, man, it was really tough.
Well, the other day I had a guy on the podcast used to pitch for the Milwaukee Brewers, and he was telling us this story about how they were playing Chicago White Sox, and he gave up 3 home runs in a row. And you can actually see him on YouTube right now. This was back in, I think, 96. He gave up one to Frank Thomas first. Then he gave one up to Harold Baines, and then one to Robin Ventura. So, I mean, it happens, man. You have some bad days.
It's tough, and especially at our position as a punter or kicker, because it's one of those, you've all heard it, dude, you only have one job. Like, how hard can it be? So already, and I get it. I would admit it. We're not on the same caliber as linebackers or quarterbacks. That's what I said. It's a skill within a sport. So already, people don't, they want any excuse not to like you anyways, because they already don't see you as a real football player. But in that type of thing, yeah, I mean, it truly did have just one job, but there's some extra anger. If it's a lineman or something, they could say, well, at least they're a real football player. But with a punter, ooh, no passes.
I've always considered punters real football players, Matt. Hey, I got you. We're here.
I'm having a trouble. Well, you truly are hammered then, if that's your if that's your stance. I've been around a lot of them.
We actually have a punter in studio too. Brandon used to be a punter in college.
Yeah.
You got a pretty good story too, don't you?
No.
Oh no, he told me. I told you about this offline the other day where he was practicing on the sideline and kicked into the net and got his cleat hung up.
Oh, I've done that. No, I have done that big time.
Yeah,
those nets are kind of small, man. You got to get close to them.
Yeah, because before they came out with these nets that are already stiff and like up, they had just the horseshoe net, and basically the net just like sags down. And so what happened was, it was like a windy day, and I went to college up in Salisbury, Catawba, where it's like super windy, not as App State windy, but it's still pretty windy. And this one day, I'm just over there, just killing time. I'm just like kicking in the net, and like wind just fucking blew right when my cleat caught my cleat. So like I'm trying to hop backwards to get it off.
Oh man, yeah. This was during a game.
Yeah.
It was at home though?
Say what?
It was at home?
Oh, of course it was at home. Okay. and those little stadiums, like I don't think App State was as big as it is now back.
No, it was like 20,000 or something like that.
Yeah. So we were like half that size, and it was right in front of our student section. So
dude, I always put the net right in front of the most obnoxious. Like at Virginia, my net was directly in front of the frat boy section.
Oh man.
And I remember at that game I had like a 3-yard punt. I was trying to coffin corner. You're just trying to bunt it. Was that?
It slipped out of your hand 3 yards?
No, so it's a coffin corner punt, right? So you're just trying to bunt it down there. Think if you play golf, it's like trying to hit a driver to 120 yards away. Like you have to really just try and tap it, which obviously I did it. It did come off the side of my foot. But that's what I was trying to do with the Deshaun Jackson. That would have been a better outcome. But it was 3 yards. And the frat boys are like, dodge. And they keep yelling dodge until there's an awkward silence until you look at it, and they're like, that just happened. So I heard it forever. So yeah, I can empathize with you, man.
Funny.
Well, I'm hoping Brandon will share those pictures with me, and I can put them in this show later on. He's going to do it. He's going to do it.
That's hard.
Sports Hall of Fame.
So that was the other thing, is we had photographers at these games, and for some odd reason, I fucking did this incident right beside the photographers. So he captured like 5 photos and put them on the football page. I'm like, dude, this ain't got nothing to do with the game,
Bro.
Nothing.
You weren't doing any punters favors, man. We're on being athletes.
Well, the problem was is earlier in the day, no one even noticed. This is how much people look at punters. So I'm on the side kind of warming up, and like I hit one off the side of my foot, missed the whole net completely. And it didn't go on the field, but it was like on the side, and I was like, "Oh shit! Like I can't do that." So like I get a little bit closer, and then shit roll from there.
Yeah, man.
Hey.
Yeah, we've been there.
Well, Matt, I know you got to soon go, but I want to go ahead and I want to cover.
Yeah, I'm good, man. Take your time. I'm good.
Sure, I thought you had
the green light. I got the green light, man.
Oh, awesome. Well, we'll keep you up here hanging some more then.
Do not tell my wife I said that. Do not tell her that.
Thanks, Mrs. Dodge.
That's right.
We appreciate it.
Love you so much.
So, hey, right now you got something going on. It's called Beyond the Game. It's like a documentary going on. All these former athletes. Go ahead and explain.
Yeah, so it's a documentary film, and it's not my project. I kind of came onto it late. So I guess I didn't realize the average documentary takes 5 years to film. So this project's been in the making for a while, but I got contacted by the director, Susan Simber, who I've actually gotten really close with now. But if I had to compare it to anything, it would be like we've all seen the 30 for 30 going broke. Here's
the first one.
Here's how athletes are, how they've had it all and lost it all. So the media has definitely covered that side of it. Now this is kind of covering the other side of it. Guys that are, there's a ton of them. Trying to think, Stahlbeck, all his stuff with the real estate. I mean, there's a lot of great examples of former athletes doing it.
I thought I saw Marshall Falk in it too.
Yeah, I was on a panel with Marshall. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I could not believe it was like make a wish for me to be on that same panel. And I actually had just shaved my head on accident. But anyways, yeah. So Beyond the Game. So basically, yeah, we're just trying to change that narrative, and we're doing that by number one, kind of highlighting bright spots of guys that are doing it, right. And then number two, peer-to-peer kind of stuff. Because there's one thing, you ask any athlete what they miss when they're done playing, it's the camaraderie they had in the locker room, just being around your boys. And, that goes away as soon as you get done playing, even though they're still all technically your friends, you're not on the team anymore. And it's, I'm sure anyone that's played any sport at any level, that's what you miss. And it's instantaneous, man. Like as soon as that last game's over, just something changes. So we're building that back up. And I know it's going to be streaming on Netflix. It was supposed to be released actually early last year. COVID shut down everything. Yeah, there was red carpets, all that had to be kind of postponed, but it was kind of a blessing in disguise because everything was shut down, and Susan and the team, we really kind of pushed into the marketplace because nobody was doing anything. Everybody was kind of sitting on their hands. You've taken advantage with doing your podcast and stuff. So it's been a lot of fun and has let me, I'm going to do the podcast with that. Had an episode with Vincent Jackson, if you remember him, some really big name guys. So it's, if anything, it's kind of brought me back that camaraderie, being around other athletes. I love my wife. I love my son. It's great, but man, there is nothing like being in that locker room and just messing around with the guys. And man, I miss it to this day.
I kind of equate that to like military camaraderie.
Military is very similar. Yeah.
Yeah, very similar. Because to this day, when I served from 96 to 2000, I can remember every name of just about every guy I served with that it was in my company. But I couldn't remember somebody I met 2 days ago. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they structure football similar to the military. What do they do? First thing you do in the military, you got to go through boot camp. Football is similar. You got to go through like summer workouts, and you got to go through something that sucks really bad with a group of guys, and it makes you bond that much harder. It's the same thing, obviously, in the military. So the military, I compare that so many similarities because I missed the structure of football. I mean, you're told every second of the day, 7 to 7:06, pee, get water, 7:07, team meeting, and there's a lot of freedom within that structure. And I know a lot of military, you get done, you're kind of like athletes. It's like, I don't know what to do with my hands. There's no one there telling me what to do. I don't have any of my boys. So yeah, it's eerily similar to military. Obviously, we're not going to war. That's a big difference.
Well, figuratively, I guess they like to say that.
Right.
Yeah, war
the
with the kicking nets.
Trenches.
That's who we're
Trenches.
Yeah.
going to war with the kick. We're going to war with the kicking nets, man. That's our.
Brandon, you are definitely got to let me
Yeah,
know that
Brandon,
picture.
they the kicking that won that one, bro.
We're gonna get it back, man.
Yeah, you don't know. You don't know the struggle. We had cheat nets.
Oh yeah, man.
So, Matt, what are you up to now, man? What do you do now between 8 to 4, 9 to 5? What's up?
Yeah, so after football, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. The good news, bad news was good news. You make a lot of money playing football. The bad news, you make a lot of money playing football and it kind of feels easy. And you think it's going to be like that when you get into the regular marketplace. And it's just not. I mean, to earn, I mean, you guys know you've been working to earn $500,000 in the real world. It takes a long time to build up to that outside of being like a performer or an athlete or whatever. So I bounced around a little bit and finally wound up in the financial industry. And I now run a financial firm in Morehead City, North Carolina. And I work with, high net worth people that are coming up on the retirement. So managing money, I know it's kind of a weird thing to think about, professional athlete trying to help you not run out of money, but that's my shtick now. And I really, really kind of found a home in it. It's a great business, and it allows you to, it's different from a 9 to 5 where you're punching in and punching out. Mm-hmm. So I'm able to do stuff like this. I'm able to work on projects like Beyond the Game and stuff. So it's really, really cool.
Awesome. So you're one of the responsible ones, because a lot of athletes get in there and make multi-millions of dollars, and snap of a finger, it's gone.
Yeah, it's the sudden wealth syndrome. It's the same reason lottery winners go broke. It's the same reason wealth. It's 90+% of millionaires in this country are first generation. Everybody thinks it's this person's rich because their parents are rich and their grandparents are rich. No, money is it's very difficult for money to go from one generation to the next because of that sudden wealth. So compound that with the fact that you've got 22-year-olds signing $10 million signing bonuses. I don't know many 22-year-olds that are going to be like, you know what? I'm going to take that signing bonus, get a well-diversified portfolio of mutual. They're not going to do that. No, you're rich. I signed a $70,000 signing bonus. I thought that might as well have been 70 billion. I'd never had anything like that. You think you're rich and you think it's going to last forever, and it doesn't.
So you were making like 20,000 a game. I think that's what I heard you say in this other.
Yeah. So you get, that's another thing. You get game checks. So 17 game checks for the year because of the bye week. So that year, Eli made $20 million that year. So I was like, man, I'm about to slip, about to trade him game checks because they just take them in your locker. So he was getting over $1 million a game. Now part of that had a signing bonus and stuff in it too, but on average. So yeah, you get paid, but you don't get paid in the off season, so you get even that, it's kind of like a condensed window you're getting paid. So, but yeah, and I was making the minimum, and man,
that's still nice.
I couldn't spend it.
Let me make your minimum and I'll hire you for your financial services.
Oh, bro. I had no idea. I mean, I'd still go to Subway and get the water cup and fill it with Sprite. I didn't really realize I had money. Athletes talk about, they keep their broke habits,
Hey, Matt, do you mind me asking, did you have like incentives in your contract? Like if you did so many punts,
like escalators and stuff?
Yeah.
I think I had just some basic ones. I mean, I was in the last draft class before the collective bargaining agreement.
Okay.
If you remember, the lockout was right after my first season. Mm-hmm. So I think so. Stuff like making the Pro Bowl, and I didn't have like you make $500,000 if you do the off-season workout, which I don't care how much you like your trainer. Some of these guys, they're escalators in their contract, but I think I had a couple, but I don't think I got any of them.
Gotcha.
And so you mentioned Eli Manning.
Yeah.
Did you get to hang out with Eli? What kind of person?
All the time, man. We were like best friends.
I could sense that sarcasm right there. He's like, Eli was really an asshole. He was cussing up a storm everywhere.
Yeah, no, he was the most laid back guy. You hang out at the facility, but usually you hang out with your position. The guys, especially defense hangs out with if you're a safety, you hang out with other safeties because you're in the meeting room with all the time.
Yeah.
But I do remember the second training camp. So generally after you go through training camp, there's a party at the end. And in our second training camp, we had it was actually at Giants facility. We usually do it at like a college. I think the Panthers do it at Wofford College in South Carolina. You stay in a dorm, it's kind of fun. This one we were doing at the facility. So we're back at the hotel, and I was playing beer pong, and I was, basically FaceTiming with a chick like this, and I say, hold on, I got to shoot. And I hand it over, and Eli took it, and he's like, hey, he's like, what the hell are you talking to this guy for? But so he was, that was probably the closest friendship we got, but that got me some cool points for sure.
That's still pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
Daggone right, man. But like I said, I was 22, 23, single looking to mingle. And you had a lot of these guys that had 2, 3, 4 kids, felt like I was playing with my dad, so that's the biggest difference. Obviously college to me was the funnest, honestly.
Yeah. What year did Chris Johnson go to ECU?
He was there too.
Were you?
Yeah.
07 was his last year.
07, yeah.
Okay.
He was on my first year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Coach Skip Holtz, Patrick Pickney at quarterback, that whole thing.
Yeah, CJ, man, fast as hell, could not understand a word he said.
Yeah.
Nicest guy in the world. But he had that Fort Lauderdale. Was that dude, the nicest guy ever, but just straight up Fort Lauderdale, around that area, But he'd always be like, "What up, Jit?" I'm like, dude, I don't know what a jit is. What? I'll take it, man. But he was a freak. God bless, dude.
You still keep in touch with any of your former teammates, like from the Giants or from ECU?
A little bit, yeah. Probably more from college. I was in New York for a year, so obviously I know Lawrence Tynes is still a good buddy of mine. Steve Weatherford, actually, the guy who took my job, who won it, he's still a good buddy of mine. But Wilson Rayner, who was my long snapper in college, he was in my wedding. He actually, what's that thing that the men throw out? It's like the garter belt or something.
Garter.
Yeah.
So he actually snapped it to me, and I punted it. And I gotta say, man, I still got it, dude. Like I kicked it right into the crowd. I thought I was gonna shank it, but yeah, I mean, those are guys, man. You know how it is. You see a guy you hadn't seen him for 6 years, and you just pick right back up and left off. So
that would have been one thing I would have fumbled.
Oh my god!
I wouldn't have tried to catch that one. I would have backed away.
Oh, bro, we had an open bar at my wedding, and God, dude, I don't know how I made contact.
Well, it's like you said, in like pros, you hanging out with your positions, but like college, like
everybody hangs out.
Positions during the day, but at night you all party together.
Oh yeah,
daggone right, man. Dude, I loved it. I'd roll up with like the biggest dudes in the world walking in, like nobody would mess with you. That?
No, of course not. Of course not.
Oh, I don't know if you ever went to that one place in Durham. I can't remember the name of it. It's a nightclub. You go in there, and then the Duke football team will roll up in there.
Shooters,
and you're like, Shooters.
Only club in Durham.
It's called Shooters?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. All these dudes are like 300 pounds, 6'4". You're like, damn.
Oh, man.
Small.
Dude, the women loved them, though, man. The big dudes, they're like, especially like the teddy bear type guys, that were like soft-spoken, obviously beasts.
Right.
Man, those are the ones you want to have around, man.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned it earlier. And I want to revisit it. You said you got a Tebow story.
It's more of so we went to, this was at the Senior Bowl, and Tebow was there. Rob Gronkowski was on the team. There was some pretty good named guys. We went to like St. Jude's Children's Hospital. I mean, you're doing all kinds. You've seen all the all-star games where they're showing up, and
oh yeah.
We went and got back on the bus, and you're just humbled by like the things these kids have to go through, and I'm sitting on the bus, and this sweet little old lady comes on the bus, and, just kind of wobbles up the thing. And she points at me and is like, "Mr. Tebow, could you come out and take some pictures with these kids?" And I was like, Oh my God, I got to break her heart. I think I got out and took a picture. I'm like, you got it. Absolutely. God bless. It's like, so I'm like my daggone career. I'm just disappointing everybody, man. So at least I kind of look like Tebow. So
to this day, she probably still thinks she met 10 people.
Yeah.
Made her day.
Her
life.
Man, they're like, he punts for the Giants? What the heck? Oh, whatever.
All right, Matt, here we go. Super Bowl week on Hammered. We got the Bucks against the Chiefs. Who have you got? I'm going to go ahead and say you got the guy that's still playing when you were playing.
No.
But I'm going Bucks for sure.
I told you. Yes.
I can't. Not because I know anything about football, just because I'm not betting against
Brandon, bro. Calm down. Chill.
He's destiny, man.
Hey, so we were talking earlier, and this is a home game, right? Wouldn't you consider this a home game for the Bucks?
Where are they playing at? That's how bad. Yeah. Oh yeah, I would definitely.
But Brandon's saying officially it's not a home game.
Yeah, because it's the Super Bowl.
But it's a home game, though.
But what I'm saying is, if they shoot off the cannons at their home field because they score a touchdown or something, I feel like that's flawed.
You and them damn cannons.
I'm just saying.
What are the rules?
It's an intimidation factor.
What's that?
What are the rules for like capacity?
They're definitely not feeling it. I know they got a lot of essential workers going there.
Yeah.
Like 17,000, I think.
Yeah, I know they say
weirdest year
gets to choose like a group of nurses or healthcare workers from like their town that they nominate to go.
God, what a boring fan base. No offense, but that's golly, dude.
Yeah.
I don't mean that like rude, but I'm just saying.
Playing at home.
If you're lucky enough or good enough to get to the Super Bowl and it just happens to be played in your hometown that year, then they should fire the cannons when they score a touchdown.
Hell yeah.
What do you think, Matt? Fire the cannons?
Man, it's just that would just be my luck, dude. The zombie apocalypse has happened while we get to play at home.
Hey, they can't shoot out. They might as well turn the lights off.
Put a mask on that cannon, dude.
Exactly. Shut it down.
All right. So Matt Dodge, former punter, New York Giants, financial business owner. It's out in Moorhead.
Yeah, financial planner. I don't own the business, but I run it down. Yeah. So financial planner, Market Street Wealth Management's the name of the company. MarketStreetWealth.net. If you want to check it out.
Yeah, man. Plug it. I'm going to put the links up. Also, we got Beyond the Game film coming out soon. I hope you let me know when that's coming out so I can throw that out there.
Yeah, man. I'll be big time then. I'll see if I can get back on the show. I don't know, man.
You come back on my little show, man. I'd appreciate it.
I'll check. I'll see. Man. I like to help the little guys,
The millions. Millions.
I'm hoping after this show right here, I at least get 100 viewers.
Oh man, your subscriber list is about to.
We can move to LA with that.
That's right. Let's go. Going big time.
Hey, all serious, Matt. I want to thank you for coming on the show, man. Thanks for sharing your story with us. If anything, your story is kind of motivational and inspirational. You had something. You made it to the top. You had some diversity, and now look at you. You're doing documentaries. Financial planning. You're on it, bro, and you're on Hammered. That speaks volumes. What y'all think?
It's all coming full circle, man. That night I was hammered, sitting back here at Hammered. So, man.
Where do you go from here?
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys, man. It was a lot of fun. Hopefully come back on. I'll have to drive out there. You're out near Raleigh, right?
Yeah, man. If I'd have known you were going to be in town yesterday, I'd seen if I got these boys to switch it up. But hey, man, we hope to have you back and you can do another episode, man. This has been a fun interview,
man. Thank you, man. I appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, Matt. Have a good one, brother.